The pyramids are not merely the tombs of pharaohs of Egypt. A daring hypothesis proposes alternative builders and purposes for pyramids. What if the pyramids served more significant purposes initially before becoming the final resting places of the pharaohs? This hypothesis has been proposed by certain antiquity scholars. Caution, life-threatening? The prevailing theory is that the pyramids functioned as tombs, a conclusion supported by the discovery of pharaohs' mummies within these structures, leading to names like the King's Chamber and Burial Chamber. Yet this interpretation has faced scrutiny within the scientific community. Egyptologists Wojtek Zamarovsky and Jean-Philippe Lower noted that the Pyramid of Cheops, the Great Pyramid of Egypt, which is what we're looking at here, is called Pyramid of Cheops because the ruler's name appears in this burial chamber despite it not being the central room. And this raises questions about the pyramid's purpose, similar to finding a name etched in the back room of a multi-story building. Doubts about the authenticity of such inscriptions have been expressed by scholars like Zachariah Sitchin, who questioned the veracity of Cheops' name without providing a clear explanation for the alleged falsification. Now, British expert Graham Hancock's research into the inner chambers of renowned tombs revealed areas difficult to access, prompting inquiries about their construction if they could not facilitate the transport of a sarcophagus. Similarly, Egyptologist James Quibell highlighted the practicality of the moving of the mummy through these tight spaces, suggests that the rooms were too small to accommodate a full height burial. In the Pyramid of Djoser, a shaft descends 30 meters, ending in a chamber lined with granite, a stark contrast to the burial place. This suggests the chamber was not intended for burial. What then was the purpose of this chamber? Some speculate it held items too dangerous to touch or too hazardous for surface conditions. Modern physics might provide clues, as similar environments are used to house sensitive objects like neutrino detectors or atomic clocks. Given the ancient Egyptian scientific prowess, one could conjecture they stored radioactive materials there. This hypothesis seems supported by a frieze of cobras near the shaft, as cobras symbolized grave danger at the time. Turning to the Pyramid of Cheops, its crypt also features granite interiors with not one but 5 layers of stone. Nearby, a 29-meter deep well with an empty sarcophagus was discovered, and the prevailing theory suggests it was an exit for the pyramid's builders, but this seems tenuous at best. Deep vertical shafts have been discovered in many pyramids. In the Jashur necropolis lies the burial site of Sneferu, founder of the 4th dynasty, father of the aforementioned Cheops pyramid. At Saqqara, the tombs of Seknemket, ruler of the 3rd dynasty, and Userkaf, founder of the 5th dynasty, can be found. In Gaza, the tomb of Pharaoh Menkore is located. The unfinished pyramid at Zawiyet El Arayan also marks a significant historical site. While mainstream science presents certain narratives about pyramids, ongoing research reveals striking similarities among pyramids complexes worldwide. The Pyramid of the Sun in Tiwanaku, Mexico, harbors a vertical tunnel descending 103 meters to a cave directly beneath it, segmented into 4 chambers, each about 28 meters in circumference. In this cave, scientists have uncovered numerous slate artifacts, mirrors, remnants of a water drainage system, and pipes. Notably, the 2 upper levels were insulated with a 7-centimeter layer of mica, sourced from 3,000 kilometers away, a material not typically used by the ancient Maya for ornamental purposes. This raises questions about the mica's purpose, as it is utilized in modern times for thermal and electrical insulation in condensers, blocking neutron passage and decelerating nuclear reactions. And nearby the Mica Temple, a name given to the complex of small rooms topped with a thick masonry layer, lacks evidence of religious use despite its designation as a temple. This mica-lined base suggests it might have served as technical role, perhaps in energy conversion, potentially linked to the pyramid. Interestingly, the Greek term pyramidos translates to energy in the middle. In fact, a fact known to scientists who still often refer to these structures as tombs. The pyramid network. The exact number of pyramids remains undetermined, which may seem odd given their relative scarcity. The challenge lies in the count itself. Scientists are endeavoring to catalog all pyramids, and aerial photography has revealed 409 structures that fit the traditional definition of a pyramid, with approximately 1,300 additional sites of interest for excavation. These sites are likely ancient pyramids now resembling mere hills. Researchers have mapped these objects and discovered an alignment, with most pyramids situated between the 40 degrees north and south latitudes. There are notable clusters, such as the pyramid complexes along the Nile in Egypt and the Sudan in China's Shanxi province, throughout central and southern Mexico, along the Peru-Brazil border, and in southern Australia. Pyramids have even been found in Europe, including structures in Slovenia and Greece, on the Apennine and Kola peninsulas in the Canary Islands, in Siberia, near Krasnoyarsk, on the Yenisei riverbanks, and in Russia's Primorsky Krai near Nakhodka. And it appears that pyramids are scattered across the Pacific Ocean, including Samoa, Tonga, the French Polynesia. Some scientists believe these islands emerged due to the submersion of an entire continent underwater, a relatively recent event. These pyramid sites are noted for their significant geological stability, which prevented them from submerging with the continent. This is one explanation offered by scientists for the presence of pyramids on these islands. Researchers, after gathering all available data, provided an intriguing hypothesis. The pyramids may have been constructed for defensive purposes. They suggest that the pyramids formed a planetary defense system to protect Earth from various threats, potentially preventing large-scale catastrophes. The hypothesis posits that if radioactive isotopes were stored within the pyramids, they could have functioned as complexes to regulate seismic activity. The pyramidal structure is thought to facilitate the release of energy accumulated at the lithosphere's joints to the surface, thus preventing tremors and volcanic eruptions. This theory gained some support from the fact that many pyramids are located near areas of potential seismic activity. Some alternative historians believe that the pyramids of Giza constitute a unified complex with a specific purpose. To support this theory, laboratory representatives carried out an intriguing experiment. It was discovered that an impulse emitted from the pyramid of Cheops reflected off geological layer boundaries and was detected by the pyramids of Khafre and Menkaure. Isn't that amazing? This experiment suggests that the pyramids were intentionally constructed. Their design and location are based on precise calculations, facilitating interaction among them. Consequently, the hypothesis that the pyramidal complexes function as large georadars or acoustic interferometers is plausible. However, for some reason, this notion has not been widely accepted by mainstream science. The power grid is no longer there. The pyramids were believed to shield ancient civilizations from natural disasters by reducing stress at geological fault lines, thus preventing the effects of catastrophic earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions. This raises the question, why don't these structures serve humanity today? The potential benefits are vast, as they could save countless lives and prevent extensive damage. Recently, earthquakes ranging from 7 to 9 on the Richter scale have caused thousands of deaths and billions in damages. If operational, the pyramids could be invaluable as ground-penetrating radar, GPR, but currently they are non-functional. This is attributed to the fact that the pyramids were looted, a practice that began long before our time. Pharaohs and their retinues once stripped much of the equipment to construct opulent tombs. Consequently, the energy planetary grid was disturbed, and now the pyramids are akin to a car without an engine or a gearbox, intact on the outside but inoperative. Researchers suggest that slicing a pyramid in half would reveal it resembles more of an engineering structure than a tomb. The internal passageways do not seem designed for grand funeral processions, but rather for the movement of staff, like in technical buildings. The current burial chambers might once have housed various instruments or mechanisms for seismic monitoring. And why then do those who identify with the official scientific community remain silent on this matter? Why is it that only proponents of alternative history discuss a different purpose for the pyramids? It's because archaeologists and historians are not trained to perform an engineering analysis of their findings. Consequently, we are left with the interpretation first conceived by the Egyptologists who discovered the pharaoh's mummy within the complex. Who could have constructed such technical edifices? The official scientific community does not entertain this question, as they are convinced the answer has already been provided. Thus, those unwilling to accept the mainstream narrative must seek the truth themselves. This is interesting, though. They still have a lot to learn about pyramids. This is on Solask. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.